another episode of Bullish Chips, where we talk about chips and only chips, specifically the Direction triple leveraged semiconductor bull ETF, which goes by the ticker symbol of SOXL. Today is Tuesday, July 8th, and it was another pretty good day today. Things took off to levels that we had mapped out last night, and things worked out very nicely. I didn't get to participate in the second thrust upwards this morning. I had a couple of things I needed to take care of after about an hour and a half after the market opened. So I was able to scalp a call from just above opening print, and was able to sell at previous high a day. Again, it was just another scalp. We've got some swings that were in that expire September, November, and also January 26 and January 27. So there was no urgency or rush to really try and work buying in more contracts or trying to manage the contract that I had bought at open through the meetings and things that I had to attend today. So all in all, a good day, a light day. Missed out on some day trade profit that we could have got, but it wasn't because of a bad play, a bad entry, or not reading the charts right. It was just simply because we weren't in front of the charts today. So I tried to tweet out as much as I could throughout the day, but again, I just wasn't really in front of the charts like I normally am. So I wasn't as active with specifics, just giving kind of what to look for and how to protect your profits. So let's go ahead and get started. We're start on this 15-minute chart. It gives us a good picture of what went on without getting too granular. So we did have the open with a push down, but once we got back above opening print, we basically we're so close to flipping the week back green that we were pretty much back into time frame continuity to the upside. So I went ahead and entered a scalp. Got in here. Let's see. I got down on the 1 minute. I know, which is oops, that's the 1 hour. The 1 minute. I don't usually like to get in on the 1 minute, but we were scalping, and I knew I only had about an hour and a half to pull it off. So I needed to get a pretty precise entry that would give me good risk to reward, and not have to risk too much to the downside. So because it went higher high, I went ahead and took this higher low on the 1 minute. Risky move. Wouldn't necessarily suggest it unless you're ready to get stopped out. Of course, because we set stops as soon as we buy the calls, because we know our entries and exits before we enter the contracts. So you either be ready to be stopped out or be right. So we took the higher low here as soon as the let me make this a little bigger. As soon as we broke this high, I went ahead and entered. This is a daily uptrend line, so we're kind of jumping back above there. We're jumping back above the range of September to December of 2024, and like I said, we're getting back up to flipping the week green. Here's the last month and last quarter's high. So sentiment of the market. We've got a gap up here is kind of a magnet. More of an intuition play than a follow the rules play, although we did follow the rules. It was on the 1 minute, which is kind of not in the rules. So it was kind of more of an intuition play, but went ahead and got in. We got the higher low. Thought about adding here, but we were still below the opening print, and I don't have opening print mapped out here, but we were still below opening print and below the week flip. So it was risky enough that I got in on the 1 minute that I didn't want to add to it, especially knowing how long I had to be in here. Let's go ahead and switch to the micro chart. So like I said, I entered here at about 25.50, rode that up to I had a target, a previous high a day, went ahead and got hit and the contract sold, I could have stayed in and went to stayed in for like a higher low on the 5 minute or something like that. But we had already gone to my target. I knew the time I was able to be in the market wasn't going to be long, so I just go ahead and take the profit. No point in either giving some back or giving it all back if it flipped. A lot of times a gap can also be a rejection point, as much as a magnet. So I've seen many times we get to a gap and this just reverse at that point. So in case we did that, I went ahead and had a limit sell set here. It did get hit, and then as I was in between meetings, I saw the move that we were making, and while I did want to be in, I knew that the swings that we were in were going up. So again, up, up, up. We can get off of this 1 minute chart. Go back here. So we did go up. We breached last week's high, and what do you know? Would you look at that? Just as we talked about yesterday, where this daily broadening formation and this monthly downtrend line converge, we could get a rejection, and that's exactly where we rejected. I'm not saying that we're from here we pull back, drastic pullback. I'm not saying anything other than this is a rejection point, and this is where the market has to decide what it's going to do. And you can see that's what it's doing. By moving sideways essentially all day, it's just trying to decide what it's going to do. I did mention, I think around 2:30 Central Time, that's 3:30 Eastern, that the last hour candle would be a big play in how we feel tomorrow might go. We got a 1-2 down. I was hoping for something more definitive, like a failed 2 down, even if it was red, but some type of like hammer showing that prices down here were being rejected and we were pushing back up, because that would make me feel good about a 1-2 down 2, and then with the 2 up tomorrow going to at least this magnitude, which would then trigger a 1 combo 2 down 2 up, with this being the magnitude. Yes, today's high day. So I think that's what's in the works, but we don't necessarily have the candle structure to show that that's what's going to happen. Now let's see. In after hours we are up. Looks like let's see, so 12 cents, so like 0.5%. We're up 0.5% after hours, so that could be what triggers the momentum to get us the 2 up tomorrow morning. But if we go back and look at this 15-minute chart, we do have a 3-2 down, which we could get a 3-2 down 2 up. But again, this 2 down isn't the greatest candle for us for a reversal. So while it can happen, we just want to keep our eyes open to, we could get a continuation to the downside tomorrow. Let's just come in on the 5-minute. So we've got a 2-1 going on. Yeah, nothing real definitive. We've got the hourly downtrend line here, this lighter blue dashed line. Nothing too definitive. So glad we're not swinging any like weeklies or anything like that. We do have some contracts. Yeah, 2 contracts left for the 18th of this month, the monthly expiration. So gotta keep our eyes on those. And probably sell them tomorrow, possibly tomorrow. One thing about tomorrow is the 9th, and statistically, the 9th and the 19th are the worst performing days for the S&P 500. So can we port that directly over to SOXL's performance? Probably not. It wouldn't be that smart, but it is something to be aware of, that we are coming up on a day that is known for not being as positive. It's actually, I believe, a negative return day. It's not quite as bad as the 19th, but it is a negative day, one of the 2 worst performing days of the month. So keep your eyes open to a down day, but we're looking at the 4-hour, and it's looking pretty healthy. We got the red one, but it's towards the upper half of this candle. So we did complete this strat of the combo 2 down, 2 up. Magnitude was here, which was last week's high. We poked through that, but again we hit that downtrend. So we might get a little bit of chop. We might get a little bit of chop tomorrow. May not be a down day, but maybe sideways. Just till we work out this monthly downtrend line, and this daily broadening. If we push back up, we can still break through it. That's not to say that we're gonna be rejected by that, but it's just we know that we're probably gonna have a little bit of chop up in here in this level. Even falling back down, there's kind of a lot of support. This daily uptrend line here, this daily uptrend line here, this one that we've kind of broken through, but we're hugging it. We've got last week's 50% line here. That's going to be support. We got a 4-hour broadening, not broadening, but 4-hour uptrend line. So there's a lot of support, but also a lot of resistance. So yeah, I'll probably hold to my stance that we can probably see some chop. You can probably scalp either way throughout the day. Maybe not so much to the downside. The market sentiment is pretty darn bullish right now. Fear and greed index showing us that we're in the greed zone. I believe even extreme greed. So it feels more bullish out there, but there are signs that we could just go sideways, if not down a little bit. So I'm not worried about a pullback if we do go down, as long as we're not breaking this low here. If we do, we're just creating a broadening formation. So we could go up or down. I wouldn't be as comfortable if we break this, just because we could just follow the broadening formation downwards. We've got this gap down here that we can fill from last week or 2 weeks ago. Just being aware of how we could go down. If we go down, how far we go down. If we go past here, this is the lower low on the 4-hour and the day, I believe. What's this? This is 2462. If we go to the day, this is 2462 as well. So that would also be a lower low on the day, and probably signify that we're making a broadening formation. We could go down here to test this low, which is last week's low, which is also last year's low. This fib is the top of the March 2025 range, so we could come back down here to test, maybe even poke down to flush out some stops that people have here, and then possibly even just bounce off the top of this gap, because you probably got people with contracts or strikes down here at the gap close. So kind of fake the people out that are thinking the gap close, bounce off of the top of the gap, and we could continue higher. We're in that good seasonality part of the year for tech, as we spoke about yesterday, but it does come to a close here at the end of July. So we're nowhere close to the end of July, but in case things are a little ahead of schedule, just something to keep our eye on. Again, August, September, if we do get a pullback, we're going to welcome that with open arms. We will, buy puts, sell calls, wait for the reversal signal, showing that we're going to go back to the upside, and then get going long again for at least the end of the year, and contracts and assess things, how it goes through October, November, and December. So yeah, we're looking good. Throughout the day, I move my broadenings, so all of the broadenings should be up to date. Yeah, all of them are good. So let's just go in and 4-hour. Let's move our triggers here as we normally do every day. It's part of the method, it's part of the process, and it's how we continue to stay profitable with a good winning percentage. So we'll move our previous high day to here. Oops. We'll take our 4-hour trigger to the upside and move it up to this candle. We'll take our 4-hour trigger, which was also yesterday's low. Move it to the 4-hour trigger for today. Take yesterday's low, move it to today's low. Alright, so that's on the scalp chart. Let's go for the day trade chart. Got our high, 4-hour trigger up, 4-hour trigger up. 4-hour trigger down is moved, and previous low of day. Boom. So we've got everything moved. Let's go ahead and take a step back, and let's go to here. Let's take a look at the day chart. We kind of already looked at this, but again, we're looking good. We've got good structure. Some people were trying to call this, shoulder, head, shoulder for head and shoulders. Some people were looking for a cup and handle type of thing, but we've got good structure. We've made a higher high on the day. You can see that was here. The next higher high would be up here at 27 flat, so that might be a good price to see things go down. We did poke into it today. If we can flip the year back green, we're full time frame continuity on all levels. That's bullish. That's very bullish. We do need to keep in mind though that we're coming up to a level of conflict here. So you can see all of this in the past. All of this, I think this was September through December of 2024. It was sideways. So we're getting back up into that area now. Higher high on the week would be 32.64. Remember, we were calling for things to get up to possibly this 35 area from a while ago. So we'll continue to watch things. Let's go to the month chart. The month is looking very healthy. You can see we have the 2 down, 2 up, the combo 2 down, 2 up, the combo 2 down, 2 up. If we reach the high of this 2, then we've got the 3 combo 2 down, combo 2 up, trying to get the magnitude of 36.15. So again, we're looking real good. Quarter, 2 down, 2 up on the quarter. We've got a ways to go. That 36.15 would be the magnitude. If we reach that, then we're looking at the 1, 2 down, 2 up, 3 combo 2 down, 2 up, basically trying to go see the highs of 70. Again, that's a ways out, but that's where things are kind of looking at this time. If we just go back in here, let's draw out our levels for tomorrow. Oops, that's a little too zoomed in. So we can see on the 4-hour, we've got a 2 high red 1. So let's go to our notes, duplicate, Wednesday, July 9th. These notes are from the 8th. Tomorrow there'll be 120 trading days left. 26.37 was the close price. And we're above that. So again, we're almost full time frame continuity to the upside. We filled this gap. So we need to go and actually delete this, remove, Alright, we've removed all of the gaps. Let's go back in because I think I forgot. Yeah, let me get rid of the opening print. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't even set it on that one today, just on the micro because I knew I was going to be doing a scalp. So our trigger to the downside for 2 down would be 26.34. This is a red one, 2 down. The magnitude would be 25.36. Target would be probably look at this 25.03 first. 25.03. 24.62. 24.79. Probably use the bottom of this candle, so 24.62. 24.38. No, that's not a reading. Yeah, 24.38 because it's the flip. That would be a reasonable place to bounce. So red one. So let's look for what our triggers and targets and magnitudes will be for the upside. So this would be a 2, 1, 2 up. Trigger being 26.77. Magnitude being 27.03. Target 27.29 would be my first one. Now we're looking I don't want to draw any more fib extensions. I guess 28.07 would be a reasonable target. We'd be having momentum at that point. So let's go ahead and move our magnitudes for the 4 hour to the triggers of the day. We did trigger the 2 up, but we are not above this 26.72. We're 26.37, so we're not going to make this bold. We're just going to underline it. Let's go ahead and look at our day to the downside. So on our day, we would be 2 up, 2 down. Trigger we've already got marked in, which is the magnitude of the 4 hour. The magnitude for the day would be 26.05. Am I right? Low 25. Oops, I'm sorry. 24.62, which would be our target here, and then we'll leave 23.58. Because that would be, yeah, that would be the next target, 23.58, which is right on at 23.50. And then we'll leave the 22.63 as the next target. Alright, and that's not a combo, that's just a 2 up, 2 down. And then that would make tomorrow a 2 up, 2 up. There would be no magnitude because it's not a reversal, it's just a continuation. So we've got our trigger, 20. I'm going to use 28.07 as my first target. And then let's see, we'll use the high of the expected move, which is 28.85. Right? So we use that. The target, first target for the week would be 28.44. We could start using the week's targets after that. But we've got our target, our triggers and magnitudes and targets for the 4 hour and for the day. Everything's marked in. We've gone over short term, how it may have a little push down, but we do have some reversals that can trigger very early tomorrow. So with momentum, look for more upside movement, but just be wary of the downside. We do have the levels marked out. We shouldn't be scared of any pullbacks, And if it does pull back to past levels that we expect it to pull back, we'll be ready to enter with the proper triggers. So I hope everybody enjoyed tonight's episode. It was a pretty quick one. Do all the YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you like. Let me know what I can do better. And I look forward to tomorrow's day of trading. I'll be able to be back in front of the charts a lot more than I was today. So I'll be tweeting a little bit more. And I hope everybody has a good trading day as well tomorrow. If you want, go ahead and check out any past videos you haven't checked out, and let me know in the comments on those videos what you liked, what you disliked. Just like to build a small community, a little niche community. Not a whole lot of people trade SOXL. Well, actually, there are quite a lot of people that trade SOXL, but it's not as popular on a bunch of YouTube channels and things like that. So just want to bring that light to people about SOXL, about the cost effectiveness and the risk to reward that it brings to the table, and just have positive energy and profits flowing on this side of things. So like I said, like, comment, subscribe. I hope everybody has a good night, and good luck with trading tomorrow. Thank you.